Welcome to the stream. Um,
Hi.
yeah, I figure we might as well. We're gonna do something a little bit different this time with a Feywild adventure. Um, I kind of set things up for you guys with a little bit of backstory or setting information for the Feywilds, but I'm going to build that out a little bit more in a character capacity for you through an intro and kind of setting up the pace here for what this adventure holds. Let's go ahead and get started. Anna, this does all kind of center around you and the 3 years, the time in which you spent in the Feywild, aging, while your friend lay dead.
Yep.
For
It
you,
wasn't my choice. Fully
right?
not my choice.
Not your choice. Uh, but a lot happened in those 3 years that we'll uncover through not just this adventure, but I probably think we'll actually end up doing some other one shots if we want to, because a lot can happen in those years. So this is going to be kind of towards the end of your time. So starting out, it's been almost 3 years here in Einagarden for you. Time in which you've spent learning what it means to be Fey, and specifically Fey royalty. Nobility back on Kyrios was one thing, but here, in this world of pure arcane wonder, with beings and creatures unlike those you know, royalty comes with a great amount of care, curiosity, cost, and caution. And here on this planet, because we operate in our structure not just on planes, but planets, you know this planet to be called Hapanora. The planet created as the home to Fey creatures, and your father presides over one of the ruling courts, of which there are three major: the Seelie, Unseelie, and the Einagarden Court. The Einagarden Court stands out from the others, independent from the other two, and holds dominion over the other two, of which hold dominion over the major parts of the world. Though in your time here, you've learned that it hasn't always been this way, and perhaps due to the convergence or some other series of events, what was once a relatively wild country has been made tame under your father's tutelage and rule. There are buildings here, but not of the Feywild. They are more of curious Kyrian architecture, old architecture, as well as some of unknown origin. There are large crystalline structures that, unlike what you've been able to surmise from a majority of the rest of the Feywild Plains, only exist in one other place, a place called the Vale of Eternal Shadows. Almost mirrors what's happening in Einagarden. You surmise through your time that what has happened here, and perhaps what's happened there, has been due to the major event of the convergence where the planes met and left behind remnants of these other planets or planes colliding. These otherwise crystalline landscapes meet with the wild borders on their edges. And then a deep sea on one side, a beastly wildland with tall trees and wilderness, a land of ornate floral beauty and wild-colored vegetation, vibrant colors, and then a land of shadows and bristles and briars. What you know is that Einagarden is surrounded by courts and creatures that would see it stricken from existence, and it includes both the Seelie and Unseelie. There is thought and agreement on one thing from those two who existed on this plane before. It's that this court should be eradicated. Shouldn't be here. Alas, your father, Rilro, has fought and made claim to this kingdom that stands here in the midst of the wilds. He has put in safeguards to ensure his kingdom remains. And as the ruling Archfey has created the ruling order that's at work in the realm, specifically here in Einagarden, and the order or laws, the Fey laws that the court must abide by. There are 3 laws that we talked about in advance. These are not like legal laws, these are more natural laws that every archfey over a dominion gets to put in place. His 3 laws: everything must operate in order, chaos does not reign. Where chaos reigns supreme outside Einigarden, within his realm, everything adheres to order and structure. You know this to be representative of kind of how Kyrios operates and is represented. It's almost like he's tried to bring some of that over. Second one, no harm may befall the Thornvein bloodline. So no one or no thing can openly attack him or you while inside the domain. Though outside Einigarden, you all are exposed. The third one, abide by the rule of allegiance. In Einigarden, there is no question. Outside of Einigarden, there is a rule that carries its own weight as a Fey-born and or aligned to Einigarden. You draw your magic through the Fey or Archfey that you are aligned to. So while technically you are not under that law, it still behooves you to stay connected, because that's where you draw your arcane magic and prowess from. That's something you've really come to know over the time of being here. You've actually grown stronger in your time of being here. And as such, in accordance with this third law, you have really become connected with this place and these wilds and this plane, and specifically with your father's Archfey dominion over it and all of the power that flows through you as a child of these Feywilds. So, here we are, kind of nearing the end of these 3 years. And there's a special night that is occurring. Once every few centuries, the astral bodies align, casting the realm in a magical glow that amplifies the already potent magic in the Feywild to an all-time high. The night, this particular night, the auroras paint the heavens in unimaginable colors, and the veil between worlds thins, inviting both wonder and peril. Let's show you guys a close-up of Einigarden first. The Crystal Kingdom as it exists. You can see the crystalline structure. This is not to scale, but to kind of give you a representation of the crystalline kind of landscape that exists inside the Feywilds otherwise. And then this event that's occurring now. This aurora that's turning everything these vibrant hues. You can sense the magic pulsating through just all of the being here. As the magic swells, the flora and fauna all across Hapanora responds, not just inside of your domain, this Einigarden domain, but across everything, blossoming and transforming in ways that really defy all of even Fey reality. And the Fey people even respond and attune to the power of this event that occurs. They engage in lavish celebrations. You hear laughter and songs weave through the air, and even in like the wild parts, you see them mingling with shimmering lights that move as they traverse the wild parts of the realms. On this occasion, the Feywild is alive, much more than usual, and something that you've come to learn in the weeks leading up is that this event is one where they say what dreams exist sometimes take form. What may have only been imaginable sometimes comes to existence, and the fabric of existence itself seems a little more pliable. It's a time of enchantment, and the spectacle of the cosmic harmonies that you're seeing in the skies is a light, and where the boundlessness of possibilities are redrawn under the watchful eyes of the astral skies. It's a week known as the Celestine Ecliptica. It's an event that's long awaited here in the Feywilds. This week particularly is filled with revelry and celebration and parties here in Einigarden, and is host to certainly all of the nobility, but this time we'll be welcoming some new guests to ring in the Ecliptica's close at a banquet on the final night. So that's where we're going to kind of pick up this session on the last night of the Ecliptica. Anna, your father has worked for a long time, as long as you've been here, actually, over the last 3 years, making arrangements for um, a particular celebration to occur, though he didn't know when. Um, but it's happening while you're here. But something to be held here inside the Crystal Palace, and with all of the signs present, he has made final arrangements for it to begin. This gala to occur on this night at the end of the week. He hopes it's going to ring in a new era for Einigarden. Or I guess maybe the reason is that he hopes that there can finally be a peace that can be brokered between at least two of the ruling courts here, between Einigarden and the Seelie, though previous attempts had fallen short. Rilaro believes that celebrations, especially the ones that could be celebrated here, if he were to provide a seat of honor and give those to the Seelie who would be in attendance, may finally be what's needed to bring about a peace and what's needed to maintain rule over this area that he has dominion over inside of Hapanora. So Queen Titania and Lord Oberon of the Seelie Court, as well as a few others, have agreed to be in attendance under the condition that rules of truce be in place under your father's directive. Of course, your father and a few of his trusted advisors will also be in attendance, and will meet over the week kind of leading up to, but then also over this kind of final night to make a decision on whether or not an alliance can be made. It is the expectation on this final night that Lord Oberon and Queen Titania will arrive at the palace gates to present themselves with whatever last ditch things are necessary or needed to make a decision. And so the whole of the palace is abuzz, with servants and courtiers at work. Already kind of setting an atmosphere, in one corner of the ballroom is a tiny figure, but with a much larger sound playing delicately on a harp. Volodin, would you like to introduce to us Finch?
Yeah, absolutely. So Finch is a fairy. He's a little guy. A lot of green colors are coming from him. His clothes are very green. His wings are green. His wings are like that of a Luna moth, if you are familiar with even the little tail falling below. His clothes are a little too big for him. He looks a little silly. His clothing is a little odd. He's very much the entertainer here. He looks a little silly, kind of like that of a jester. But yes, he's sitting there with his lyre. He is strumming away. I'd like to think with a much better sound than his appearance would give off. But overall, the other thing that you notice about him is he has very, very, very large ears, especially for a pixie of his size or a fairy of his size. Exponentially larger than they should be for his head.
And he plays, and the room fills with this kind of elevated, classical sounding music. So
You want to
let's,
see? Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
No. It's fine. It's fine. My bad.
Oh, you're fine. We'll change pace from our uh, mystery music to classical music.
Can I interrupt for a performance roll from him to see if he sucked?
Yeah, let's do that for fun.
All right. Oh shit! I need to turn off the thing. There you go.
22.
Ooh.
It's great. It is so good. his ears must be perfectly attuned to the pitch. The pitch is perfectly harmonious, and it's like where he's standing in the room. It's like perfectly positioned that it carries through the archways in the building. Very, very well positioned to carry not just through this room, but through the grand hall and through much of the lower floors of the palace. Standing at the other end of this banquet hall is a unique figure standing over 7 feet tall, a quadrupedal with deep onyx, almost like dark black, almost blue skin. Would you like to describe your Diabolorn character, Bridget, and also let us know what a Diabolorn is?
Yeah. So, I'm Brindum the Rotund. And now that I hear the music, all 4 legs are dancing, the hands are clapping. He's having a great time. He's got a big great axe strapped on him somewhere, and the handle is made of like intricate bone carvings. He's got these 2 big horns with these little earring kind of things hanging off of it, but like bones attached to the earrings. Cool guy. So he Brit can call him whatever he wants. He is a beefling. He is half cow, half tiefling.
He is half bull
Yeah.
centaur, half abyssal creature.
He's a beefling.
He's a beefling.
But yeah, he's just having the time of his life right now, just dancing away by himself.
Yes, this is a homebrew race of a unique centaur half-breed. Very much carries an air of the abyssal. Something, Anna, you would come to know about creatures like this, especially now that you have encountered them from your time back on Kyrios, and just surmising over the last few years that when the convergence would have happened, some of the abyssal creatures who would have, maybe for lack of a better phrasing, defected, had chosen a Kyrian life, or rather Feywild life. And so rather than being hunted down, some of them became more Fey, and this is one of those beings who is more Fey and has come to reside here in Einigarden. Anna, you have a really unique role at this event, and you're actually kind of bustling around already as this is occurring. People are getting ready. Certainly as the Empressa, the daughter of the Emperor, you're expected to be present at the court events and at this banquet, but you've also been asked to take the seat next to your father, and then to also keep your station as one of the Verdant Guard. Over the last few years, your father has given you this unique position as one of the wardens who protect and oversee the protection of Einigarden. It is where you have spent a lot of time training in what will become soon after this your green knightly duties. But in this event specifically, he has asked you to be one to keep the peace, whether that be through your duties in a more godly sense, but his expectation is really more likely to be in a political sense, your duties as the Empressa.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think she would be doing in these last few hours leading up to the arrival of the king and queen of the Sealy court?
She's probably going around making sure that all the decorations look good. Fae tend to be a little wild, for lack of a better term, so she's probably trying to keep everybody in line. I know there is sort of an overall sense of order that needs to happen here, but more so than not, like nobody's like hanging off anything they're not supposed to be hanging off of. Everybody's doing their jobs, and she's probably just kind of running around doing final checks on everything.
Give me a perception check. Yeah, best you can tell, everything seems to be kind of in order as you're going along. You're kind of like going from station to station. Most things do appear to be in order. You do hear a quick glint behind you, like a flutter behind you. But when you turn around, you don't see anything. It's not unusual to you. I mean, you've heard this
There's always
before.
something happening out of the corner of my eye.
Always.
Right.
Yeah. Might be something to look out for as things continue on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you do, just with your kind of like passive perception, do notice your father kind of pacing through, making his own final preparations. And he makes his way over to an elderly figure. He is standing kind of in one of the corners. Father, how do you pronounce it, TC?
Michael.
Michael? Okay.
Michael, it's easy.
Love it. Would you explain what Father Michael looks like to us?
So Father Michael is this old elf-like figure, super weathered face, just the years just wear on him, and you can tell that he's just been through a lot. He's dressed in the clerical robes because, he serves the emperor and basically works at, his request.
Yeah, and what Rilaro has come over to speak with you about is the final preparations of what his expectations of the night are going to hold. He plans to deliver a short welcome speech and points over to one of the tables where he expects Queen Titania and Lord Oberon to sit, and kind of asks you to just keep an awareness of what's occurring throughout the night. He also asks you to keep record of anything that seems strange. He doesn't expect anything as strange is going to happen. He points over to Beefy Boy McGee, Brendam the Rotund, and says, though we have our own Einigarden security, I've decided to hire some third-party security just to ensure nothing strange has happened. But let's just ensure that nothing out of the ordinary goes awry. This is of absolute importance. We need to make this happen.
I'll keep an eye out.
Perfect. So all of you have kind of come to this conclusion that peace here, and this is not the right tune for this. Maybe we'll see. Anyway, all of you have come to the conclusion that peace, and not just peace, but an alliance, being kind of the central point. Even Brendam being a member, like you have chosen Einigarden as your station, right? This is where you have chosen to reside. You've all kind of come to the understanding that whatever happens here tonight will determine the fate of Einigarden. It is threats outside of not just the Seelie, but the Unseelie, and anything from the outside that could potentially cause the downfall of Rillaro's kingdom. This is a place that has existed as a place of sanctuary and safety for you all. So your jobs are to aid in the negotiations as much as you can, however that may be. Keep an ear to the ground. Provide a good space. Do whatever you can to ensure that the night resolved in such a manner that an alliance is made, or at the very least, peace is kept. Do you have your marching orders?
Yes, my lord.
And that goes to all of you.
Yup.
Yup. Good answer.
Thanks.
I believe so.
Finch will nod and just continue playing.
Cool. So, a couple hours continue to progress by. Here in the Feywilds, the day and night don't really have typical cycles. In fact, they don't really cycle at all. It is a state of perpetual twilight here. Um, and that's been something to adjust to, Anna, especially since you're used to day and night cycles. But
Yeah,
you
my sleep
gathered
schedule's
it's
fucked.
totally, yeah, totally whack. Um, but you do gather it is time for assuming what would be an evening. And so a few hours pass, and the courtiers have begun to assemble, and you hear the murmurs kind of begin to bustle about. Everybody, make me a round of perception checks. Anna's distracted. Uh,
There's somebody behind me who keeps telling me I need to get dressed still. Um,
yeah,
and it's very hard to concentrate on the stuff I'm supposed to be doing.
yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. Um, yeah, and it is about time to go do that. Brendan, at the front where you are, you begin to hear murmurs about the arrival of um, the Sealy. They're later than is expected. They should have been here by now. Father Michael, where you're located, you really just have good purview of the whole room, and you've started to see groups kind of gathering, almost these cliques. Some appear to just be like having a great, you know, fanciful time. But you do see one group kind of in a shadowy corner that is a little more questionable. Um, your gut check. Give me an insight check, actually, with that roll. Yeah, you know to keep an eye on them immediately. They're just
Yep, I'm
something.
gonna do
Yeah,
that.
something about them is not right. Um, and it's a group of there are a couple Feyborn. There's an Eladrin, a Summer Eladrin, and then a pixie who, best you can tell, is looks kind of nervous. And then Finch, where you are, you gather that there are people who are having a relatively good time, but you're beginning to hear whispers of just like tension. People are nervous. People are nervous about tonight and what that could mean if things don't go the way uh, they're supposed to. Anything you guys want to do in this space?
I guess Finch is just gonna keep dancing around the various partygoers. Anyone like he's supposed to be keeping everyone happy, so he's doing his best. He's gonna be using his various. So he's got a few cantrips. He's got like Druidcraft and Minor Illusion and Prestidigitation. I want him to like use those to like give a lot of like little like minor effects to his songs and
Okay.
stuff. So he's gonna make like flowers blossom. He's gonna make like little gusts of wind where appropriate, extra little drum sounds, things to complement his playing. And then like specifically like anyone who's looking like they're having a bad time, he's gonna seek them out and he's gonna like play them a little tune. And he'll be like, oh, have you seen anyone with a set of ears like this before? I don't need an alarm clock. I just hear the sun rising. And he's just gonna be running around making like little silly little quips everywhere, trying to keep everyone lighthearted.
I love it. Make for me a. Let's do this as persuasion, with advantage.
Oh, say less.
Love it. Okay, so mechanics for the night. Just so you guys are kind of aware, there's going to be a series of events, things that add to your reputation. You'll get positives for, especially if they're particularly events of note. Anything that takes away or kind of adds a negative flair to the evening will, like interruptions, whatever that may be, will add negatives. You want to aim for the highest possible that you can. However, we'll see how the night progresses. Good call. Good start, though. Yeah, you pretty quickly do notice like the nerves kind of peaking up in one group of just folks who are chatting. And yeah, you fly over and make your ear joke, and immediately the response is jovial, and it seems like that's kind of calmed nerves. People go about, and there, you draw attention back to what the celebration is for. This ecliptica, this rare event that's happening, and what it's supposed to be a celebration of, this night of pure magic and arcane wonder, and people do remember that that's what it's about. And yeah, it's successful. Anybody else want to do anything?
Well, Father Michael's going to turn back over and report that he thinks the group is suspicious, and should I have Giggle Noodles over there go and take a look?
You're asking Rilaro?
Yeah.
He says to you, best not draw attention at the moment. Keep an eye. If things transpire further, perhaps yes, then we'll draw attention. For now,
Understood.
Yes, just keep a wary eye.
I think at some point Anna did have to leave to go get
Sure,
dressed,
yeah.
and this is probably about the time she's coming back, not wearing armor because that would not be seen as great in peace negotiations.
Sure.
And so she's dressed for a ball, and I think it's sort of like that Roman-esque style sort of dress, kind of the thing you see like Roman goddesses wearing.
Oh, okay.
And then like almost like a glove on one of her hands is like a bunch of vines going up towards her neck, and then her hair has some crystalline flower decorations.
Beautiful. Yeah. When you come in, make a performance roll. At advantage.
Okay.
Do you say anything as you're coming in? You don't even.
I don't think so. I don't think she says anything when she comes in. I think it's just like she's just entering. Like she's not trying to make a huge deal of it, but she is trying to have some sort of presence and some sort of weight in the area.
Yeah, you come in and it's almost immediate that your presence carries with it, especially because the people have come to know you and trust you over the last few years. These are your people. You didn't come in with a haughty attitude. You came in with a willing, what's the right word? Willingness to just be a participant in their life, right? But you come in beautifully dressed, and those who are in the room immediately take note, and you get a small round of applause from those who are coming in.
She tries to hide, like, that's a little weird that you're clapping, but she doesn't say that. She more just thinks it and tries to pretend that it doesn't. She just more like enters the room and joins the fray.
As you kind of like
yeah,
make that like a little bit of like shyness. One of the like ladies in waiting, I don't know what the appropriate term for that would be. Her name's Vivienne. Vivienne walks over and she goes, "No, my lady, this is what it's about. You are making an appearance. You are the Emperor's daughter. You should be seen. You should be known. You should."
I agree with that. It's the clapping that I find weird.
Oh, no. You should be celebrated. This is, especially a night like tonight, this is a joyous occasion. It's one of, hopefully, forever peace for us. You should...
We can only hope.
Yes, yeah, of course. That's, I think what you bring about, especially amongst us, is that you represent hope for us.
I will keep that in mind and appreciate it, and I will try not to let random clapping get to me.
She bows and says, "Well, if you have any need of anything, I'll be happy to."
I will absolutely ask you. Is everything
Wonderful.
going okay? All the vendors are prepared, and nobody's had any weird spills or anything tonight.
She laughs a little and says, "Yes, my lady, everything is
Okay.
in perfect order so far. Almost surprisingly so. Um, so far, everything seems to be going off without a hitch. Makes me a little nervous, but I'm excited to see everything going so well."
All right. That's good. That's good so far.
Yes, of course. Well, if there is anything you need, again, you just come and find me.
Won't hesitate to ask.
Great, great, great. And then with that, she kind of like goes back and like gives a little clap, like the two-handed like clap, clap, clap kind of thing to get the attention of some of the other serving staff and brings them over to continue on about their duties. Um, Bryndam, I'll give you an opportunity. Anything you want to do in your guardly duties?
I so he's knowing that he's part abyssal and like that people may not be like super comfortable with that yet. He's not trying to draw too much attention to himself. He's probably just tapping a foot in the corner now, just keeping like an eye on everything.
Okay,
So if I could just do like a perception check.
you could absolutely do another perception check. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
No, I mean, 10's okay. You just don't notice much, right? This is a busy room now. There's a lot of people here. You're trying to keep your eye out. Like, are you trying to perceive anything in particular? This is where I'll start letting you get a little more detailed.
Knowing that he was hired for security, just kind of keeping an eye out for anything that could be considered a threat or any like weird behavior.
Yeah, with the 10, nothing seems particularly threatening, but you also pick up on just the groups of people beginning to kind of like clutter together. Not particularly that like anything sticks out as like dangerous, but just huddling is happening. There are cliques forming, and for you that makes you nervous. They're like cliques can potentially be dangerous because conversations happen in cliques. And I think all of you know that. But yeah, nothing particularly
Also,
otherwise.
with thaumaturgy, I can alter the appearance of my eyes.
Mhm.
So I kind of want to do that in a way where like it doesn't appear that I'm looking at anyone, right? Like, can I
Okay.
alter them to like look closed or like because I don't want anything to be scary about his eyes, but I don't want people to know who he's looking at.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm about to make you make a roll. This is going to be a stealth check for you. I'll let you make it flat rather than at disadvantage if you use thaumaturgy. Absolutely.
Hey,
Okay.
another 10!
Okay, it did. Yeah, neither a success nor fail. That's just a neutral. Yeah, you're not imposing because you're a big dark skin with a battle axe made of bone. You're pretty imposing and
Yeah, he would be friendly to anyone like nearby
Sure,
or anyone that
yeah,
tries
yeah.
to talk to him.
Yeah, you are a little out of place, though you do see other centaur here, and you see satyr, and like it's not strange that there are other types of beast folk here. That's not uncommon.
There's just a random cow in the corner.
Yeah, it's the fact that you have dark skin, like that like black
Mm.
onyx, almost blue skin, the abyssal nature of your being. There are not a lot of other abyssal creatures who live in Einigarden. Most of them know that they live in the Veil of Shadow. So that kind of element, like people are probably a little more concerned. However, a lot of people know you. You've been here for a while. So those in Einigarden
Yeah.
particularly are like, they're not afraid of you. They're friendly back for the most part. This will become more important as the Sealy arrive. For now, not an issue.
Perfect. Yeah, he'll just be friendly, small talk, a little bit dancing. If anyone wants to dance, he'll dance with them, but still kind of keeping his main focus on just the people that are there and looking for weird behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
As Finch is going past Brendan here, doing his little routine, he's gonna look at him, use his telepathic to be like,
Keep an eye open. You're doing great.
and use a bardic inspiration charge to give Brendan bardic inspiration.
Love it.
Oh, well, that's nice of you.
Yeah. It's not long as you guys are kind of at watch, and again you hear the murmurs in the crowd of people like waiting, um, but not long before you hear a fanfare from the front of the hall, and you hear it loudest, Brendan. Um, it overshadows the music that's playing in the room that Finch is playing, and it's the arrival being announced of the Seelie. And in walk Queen Titania and Lord Oberon with an entourage of guests. First and foremost, let's do a quick show to players of what I created for
Oh,
these two.
pretty.
Ooh, looks very good.
Everyone roll for me a... Actually, real quick. Anna, what are you doing as they enter? Where do you think you are?
I think, honestly, I think as soon as I heard the fanfare, I think I would look for my father so that we could go and greet them at the front of the hall.
Okay. Make for me an insight check.
Okay. These are all my best skills. That's a 6.
Okay. Let's drop you guys on the appropriate map. Maps are not really the right terms for these. Photos.
Backdrops.
Backdrops. Yeah, there you go. This is the closest depiction I could come up with. Yeah, you get the best you can surmise is like discomfort on your father's face a little bit, but you can't really tell why. But yeah, you guys begin to head over to the front of the hall where they are. Queen Titania and Lord Oberon, they arrive at the Crystal Palace, and they are adorned in this beautiful attire crafted from like the finest natural materials. Like though it's like leaves and twigs and that kind of stuff, but like it seems like it's been either magically pulled or like meticulously gathered from these wondrous places across the Seelie dominion. You hear everyone make me, actually, let's just do it this way. Everyone make me a perception check.
What the fuck is up with my roll?
Oh, thank God.
Finch and Anna. The two of you kind of, like everyone else, you, Father Michael and Brendan, you guys just, you hear voices kind of rise up. You surmise it to be a little, probably just excitement that they're here. Finch and Anna, you gather that you can hear the actual voices. The murmur that's rippling out is not exactly good. It is a combination of excitement on one side and caution on the other. The Lord Oberon, with his deep green skin is and hair adorned with twigs and brambles, he embodies like this untamed beauty of the Feywild, and walking by his side, he's kind of escorting her, is Queen Titania, who is the esteemed leader of the Seelie court. She's the one who really commands all of the notice, and she is captivating with this elegance and poise, and she has this long silverine hair that spills over her gown like a liquid moonlight almost. And together they walk through this, like, the halls with just this grandeur, and there's like a palpable shift in the atmosphere. All of you feel it. The Fae, who are of Isla Garden specifically, like as kind of mentioned to those two, it's like a mix of the apprehension, but you do a mix of apprehension and excitement. But you do, like, all of you notice that there's a pause in like the festivity that's going on. Everyone kind of like turns to watch, and with drinks and food that, like, the hors d'oeuvres that have been kind of being partaken of, everyone stops and turns their gaze towards this couple, and you start to surmise, especially Finch and Anna, like the trepidation on some of these people's faces. And Finch, your music kind of like dulls a little bit. Roll for me a performance check. At disadvantage, actually, because they're like striking. You may not need it. Yeah. With a friggin' 20 performance is nuts. Yeah.
It's a +10. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
he's a bard
Hey,
through and
that's
through.
fine.
What can I say?
It is
Do
fine.
not apologize.
No, it sounds great, but like it's clearly getting drowned out a little bit by just the like magnanimousness of them. It still sounds good, but like it's getting also drowned out by like their own trumpeters. It sounds great. But they
Were they like introduced? Like were they like announced to
Yes.
the room when they entered?
yeah, the fanfare would have been kind of like the announcement moment. I didn't narrate it, but yeah.
Okay, Finch is then just gonna like change like what he's playing. Like instead of like trying to play his own thing, he's just gonna try to like
join in with them.
orbit around these two and just kind of like add in his own little thing, right?
I love it.
And again, he's just gonna keep using like all of his little cantrips to just like
Okay.
little flowers blooming and little puffs of smoke or smells of things or like a candle lighting. Like he's just kind of like use all his little tricks, right? Like he's just trying to keep everyone happy. So
Okay, I'm gonna redo, instead of a performance at disadvantage, I'm gonna take your first one of a 20 and make that a flat roll.
Okay.
Obviously a success. You get just very briefly, Titania's eye catches yours, and she gives you like the slightest smile. Everyone else though, as they're passing through, they give nothing. Everyone else make a perception check. Yeah, everyone else notices. They're not paying attention to anyone. It's like they're walking by with this air of superiority as they're walking through this hallway. You see the courtiers of Einigarden specifically exchange uneasy glances. Like some of them also really pick up on it, and there's this like sense of underlying tension that's in the air as these Seelie rulers are making their grand entrance. And some of them lower their eyes and like avert their gaze. And some of the other ones kind of like bristle and like they take offense to the perceived arrogance of these guests who have just walked into their kingdom. But despite the palpable discomfort, Emperor Rillarose steps forward to greet the king and lord, and with a gracious smile extends a welcoming hand and says, "Well, it is an honor to have you and your guests here in the Crystal Palace." And he bows, but as he does so, the rulers pass by with not so much as a nod. You hear the murmurs get
Wow.
very uneasy among the Einigardian Fae, and they get louder. Anything you guys want to do at this moment?
Can I just do like a basic perception check
Yeah.
on the people in the crowd, like if anyone's going to strike or attack,
100%, yeah.
out of just like frustration or embarrassment from how he was just treated?
Not attack, but you do see a lot of frustration. You actually see like whole groups of people like with like rage on their face, almost like this isn't our front. Not okay to walk into someone's kingdom like this and like not acknowledge the emperor.
I think that he'll probably try and like, without drawing a lot of attention, just try and relay that message to the emperor without causing a scene.
How do you plan to do that? Like
Um,
walking through this royal procession.
Yeah, I don't know where he would be. Probably wouldn't have been too far from, because he's here to like protect Anna.
Yeah,
the
well,
Emperor, I'm assuming.
You're standing guard at the front of the hall. They had been
Oh, okay.
kind of, they came close to the front of the hall as this began. They're probably 10 feet from you or so, but there's a crowded room, right? You would have to like walk through the room to say something and pass through a lot of the Seelie who are in this room. I will say,
Okay, I think he'll probably just slowly make his way, nodding at the people he knows and
Okay.
trying just not to draw attention.
make for me a stealth roll. Just straight. I'm not going to make a disadvantage or anything. Yeah, 20. Nice.
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah. No, like you look like you're supposed to be in it. Perfect. Yeah, you walk through.
Perfect.
And as you do it, let me make a quick roll for Rilaro. He doesn't notice that you're coming, so you're gonna have to like get his attention.
I'll just go.
Oh yeah. He turns and it says, yes, what is it?
Your citizens, they are upset with you being snubbed. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't think anyone's going to act, but we need to be on guard.
Yes, thank you. That is quite expected. That was unfortunate. Well, I appreciate it. I have to get back to my duties.
Yes.
And he like hardly acknowledges you, but like kind of gives you like a little the tiniest of nods. Make a mass perception roll of everyone. Not good for the game.
Everyone?
No. I made a roll.
Oh, God.
As yes. go
can I
ahead.
have? Can I have Finch like? Because this is like this awkward moment where like the emperor was trying to. Can he like try to like make like a joke to like fill the
Cut
the
tension?
awkwardness? Yeah,
Please
yeah.
do.
Okay, he's gonna be like
You guys hear about the guy who had his ears lopped off? He didn't either.
Roll
Oh, I hate
performance.
that.
That honestly feels very fitting.
Okay, that's fine. You see, it's not the Seelie who really give a shit, but it's the people of your court who they kind of like look up and get distracted a moment. Good call though. The Queen and Lord continue to walk over. Like they have already acknowledged where their places are, their seats of esteem. And they walk over with this entourage, quite a large group of people. And Anna, make a perception with advantage because you helped set this space up.
Okay, 14.
There aren't seats for about 70% of these people. They're not supposed to be here.
Can I get a vibe check on what this entourage is like? Like, do they look like their fellow nobility? Do they look like guards? Do they look like servants?
Yeah, give me an
What is-
insight at advantage because like you would know these types of people.
Yeah. Wow, I rolled a 3 and a 4 on the
Not
die.
good.
It means that's a 3.
So best you can surmise, it's just a large group of Fey people. There's nothing really of note about them. They're all dressed appropriately, but outside of that, like you can't gather station or anything.
Okay, so
I tried.
yeah, no, you're all good. I think Anna's gonna motion for a servant to come over, and she's going to instruct her to get more chairs. It doesn't matter if the chairs are at table. The chairs can be along the walls. Fit chairs where you can. We need more chairs.
Sure. Yeah, the same one you were talking to, Vivienne, walks over. She's kind of like been tailing you a little bit this whole time. You tell her, and very quickly she snaps, and like you see like a flutter of people come in with just a bunch more chairs, and they go to work like speaking to a bunch of the guests who are from your court, and like letting them know that their seating has now been moved.
Yeah. So the seats of Oberon and Titania, I assume, are near where mine and my father's seats
Yes.
are, their entourage or them are not taking up our seats, correct?
No, they have left your
Okay,
seats
they're
open.
not that
No,
disrespectful.
no. They have left your seats open, but they have like filled in like basically every seat at the front of the hall otherwise. What would have been the seats where your father's advisors would have sat. Those have also been taken. So it's literally like the two of you
So
now
fucking
surrounded by
rude.
everybody
Oh
else.
my god.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's fine. It's fine. This is why we have more chairs. It's fine.
But as they finally do head to their seats, and once seated, Titania looks over to Rilaro, finally making like eye contact, and she gives like a slight acknowledgement as to say, "You may begin." He stands up. Well, I mean, he's already kind of still standing, and he walks to the center of the room, and he begins to speak. Esteemed guests, honored courtiers of Einigarden, and distinguished visitors of the Sealy Court, I bid you all the warmest of welcomes to this momentous occasion. Tonight we gather under the shimmering glow of the Celestine Ecliptica, an event that illuminates our realm with its radiant brilliance, and that I believe symbolizes the harmony and unity that we aspire to achieve. He looks over at the seated guests. Let me make a quick roll for him. He notices that a lot of them, actually, I'm not just going to give this to you guys. Make a perception check to see if like you can gather what he's gathering.
Oof.
Not Father Michael.
Nope. I'm still focused on that group in the corner.
Yep. The rest of you, yeah, you all pick up like he's only drawn the attention of the Queen and Lord. The rest of them aren't really paying attention at the moment. Queen Titania, Lord Oberon, your presence here fills our hearts with hope and anticipation. For too long, Hapanora has known division and discord, as our court stood divided by ancient grievances and rivalries. But tonight, I stand before you not as a rival, but as a friend and ally, extending a hand of friendship and reconciliation. It is my fervent belief that in unity lies our strength, and in cooperation our prosperity. The time has come for us to set aside our grievances of the past and embrace a future forged in peace and cooperation. Together, we can usher in a new era of prosperity for our realms, where the bonds of friendship and cooperation transcend the barriers of old animosities. Tonight, as we break bread together and share in the festivities of this occasion, let us reaffirm our commitment to peace and cooperation. Let us seize this opportunity to build bridges of understanding and trust between our courts, and to pave the way for a brighter future for all who would call the Feywild their home. And he places his hand over his heart and gives a small bow to the Sealy guests. In closing, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Queen Titania and Lord Oberon for gracing us with their presence, and to all have gathered here with us tonight. I offer my sincerest hope that together we can chart a course towards a future filled with promise, prosperity, and above all, peace. Welcome, one and all, to the dawn of a new era. And when he says that, there's like a big thaumaturgical eruption of applause, as much as there is from the rest of the court. But like, you guys, without even having to roll anything, can tell a lot of it's fake. You see if they could tell. Nope. Great. At this point, he kind of makes a quick gesture to the side of the room, and servants begin kind of bringing in their various fare from across the Feywilds, foods and beverages and serving, and I need everyone again to make a perception check. Anna, bruh.
I don't notice shit.
You thought
Focus on the chairs.
your father gave the most amazing speech you've ever heard.
He
You
did
have a
great. I'm
tear.
so proud of him.
Father Michael, you notice as a woman stands up, and you're catching this just as it's happening. It's like right at the kind of the tail end of the speech, and as he's like making this wave for the servants to come by, and she kind of like steps out and she knocks one of them in the way, and everyone else starts to notice this as it's happening. Is there anything you want to do before like she gets to the center of the room?
I think just point it out to whoever I'm with still and just be like, hey, I don't like the way that she's moving around there.
But only be Anna and Rillarel. I think you're the only one
And
who's like,
Anna's
close enough.
busy worrying about chairs, so she's
Right.
not even paying attention to that.
I look. I got somebody came up and was like, "We can't find enough chairs," and I have to tell them where to go look for more chairs.
We have to make more chairs from Crystal.
We have to make more chairs from Crystal. We got 5 minutes. Let's go.
Rillarel
I think at this
point.
point, I'd probably use send a message over to Brindum and just be like, hey, keep an eye on this woman over there. I don't like the way that she's moving around.
Cool.
He'll make eye contact and just nod.
Cool. Do you have the message spell?
Me, I don't
easy?
have shit.
I don't believe so.
If you
Let me
don't,
check.
you should get that rather than a 3rd level sending.
Oh yeah, I get the cantrip.
I don't have it.
Okay, well, you cast a 3rd level sending.
It's fine.
Surely.
Certainly nothing bad will happen.
She barges through the center of the room and shouts, "This is a mistake! They will destroy us! They've tried it before and they'll do it again!"
Okay, Brindum's gonna try and pull her aside. Just try and get her to stop causing a scene.
You doing this like stealthy, or are you just kind of like charging through?
In the middle. He's gonna intimidation check her.
Okay.
Quietly.
Do an intimidation and a stealth for me.
Okay.
Yeah, she's intimidated.
Hey.
Make a perception for everybody else. Obviously everybody notices it, her. What they don't notice though is this 7-foot tall, black-skinned a roll boar on a group perception.
He's a shadow.
Yeah, he kind of blends into the darkness. It's like you grab her feet from behind through the servants and just yank her
Oh my
backwards.
God.
I'm just gonna
I
pull her
don't
to the side and say, why are you doing this?
She says, "Well, don't you know what happened before? They tried to murder us all."
Finch is gonna do his best to like play like an extra loud song right now to like try to keep cover of whatever's happening over here. Like he's just gonna like try to direct the attention to the other side of the room. So he's gonna start like playing over there and like maybe doing like some like backflips and stuff like that to draw attention over there.
Performance at
Yeah,
disadvantage.
and then they're gonna go to the side of the
Cool. Yeah,
away
you got
from
like
us.
full control of her. Ooh, 16. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
It's good. I mean, well, your first was 28. Your second was 16. That one didn't count.
Oh, that was the third one. Oops,
Yeah, that's the
my
third
bad.
one. You got lucky. They only rolled a 9. Like a rolling group against you. I should probably roll for an entire party of people, but that's 1,000 rolls. I'm not doing that. Yeah, Bridget, you're able to like, Brindum, I guess I should say. You're able to like completely grab her and like pull her to the side, completely away from everybody, in a shadowy corner. How are you trying to like have this conversation quietly?
Yeah.
Roll for me another stealth, just flat. Okay.
Oh no.
You are gonna have some people who are over here, but we'll get to that when it happens. Yeah, she says, they tried to kill us the last time this happened.
Yes, but we're trying to make peace. If we keep dwelling on the past, what is the future to be?
Don't you see they're doing it again? They've already infiltrated. They brought many more people. They've already taken our seats. This could be the easiest infiltration they've ever made.
Trust in the Emperor. If something goes out of hand, I promise you it's handled.
It's hard to trust when they last time already... You don't see, do you?
Do I see it? Do I know of this?
Make a history check.
-1.
Not good enough. You weren't here for the last
Not
time this
Tinka.
happened. Yeah, not Tinka. Different stats. Yeah,
Man,
Brendan.
all I can do is trust in the Emperor. I believe that we can create a better future. I need you to give him a chance to prove that.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh yeah, +2.
That'll do it. She shuts up. She says, I'm not happy about it. But clearly I can't do anything about it. Maybe it's best to just leave.
If you want to leave, I won't stop you, but I think you should at least enjoy the celebration.
What's to enjoy? We're all going to be dead by morning.
We're not going to be dead by morning. You have to give peace a chance.
I won't be. Your blood is on your own hands. And with that, she walks out.
Okay, so he's gonna do his thing again, try and get back to the Emperor and relay a message.
Stealth at disadvantage, because you're having to walk through a bunch of Sealy people.
Okay, that could have been way worse.
It could have been way worse. Not good enough, though. Bunch of people noticed you. And so you're just, like, openly saying this.
He's gonna whisper it. Handled it. She has removed herself from the party.
What did you handle? What does that mean?
She was upset.
Fine. Make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yes, sir.
Also, if you need to speak to me in the future, find Finch.
Okay.
Did Finch notice this whole thing going on?
While you were trying to distract other people, I'm gonna hard rule no.
Sorry, say that again.
While you were trying to distract other people, I'm going to hard rule no.
Your
Every
mic is
time you
cutting
try
out.
to say
Yeah,
it, it cuts out on the one part every time.
Oh man, give me a
Yeah,
second.
we heard hard and then
No,
And
I
then,
hard
While you do that, I need to fill up my water bottle, so I will be right back.
hard rule no.
Hard rule. No, yeah, no, that's okay. I got you. All good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no because you're doing another thing, right? At the same
That's
time.
fair. Yeah.
yeah, with Rilaro saying like, "Hey, talk to Finch," like Michael would interject, "Or talk to me too," like, or let me know.
Now the Brit has gone perfect.
He'll use another 3rd level spell slot.
Oh God, no, not anymore. Trust me, if I had message, I would have done that instead.
We just know that Finch has message. I think my gate is too high on my mic. Oh, whatever. I'll figure it out later. Okay. So the meal kind of progresses. Tensions. Yes.
So, before we get to the part where Rolo and Anna are sitting down,
Mhm.
I think Anna's going to go up to where the Sealy Royals are, and she's going to give a very just because have I met them before?
No, this is your first time.
That's what I thought. So, and she's just going to like go up there, perfect posture, like very like polite, pleasant look on her face, and she's going to give very respectful curtsy. I don't think she's going to bow as deeply as her father did. It's just going to be a very polite curtsy and introduce herself. And okay, just so I'm on the same page, is Anna's rank princess, or you said empressa before?
Yeah, it's not a real thing, but I made it a thing. It's basically
Right.
like an empress technically would be like the queen version of an emperor.
Yeah, I'm aware,
So
but
yeah,
yeah.
so impressa, yeah, is like the made up version of a princess.
Okay, so her title is empressa then.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And she'll introduce herself to them, saying, greetings to our esteemed guests of the Sealy Court. I am Empressa Anna Thorovane. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to let me know. But like the way she kind of carries herself after the curtsy, like she's not lowering her head to them
Mhm.
in the slightest.
Make a persuasion. Just straight roll.
Oh, that was such a bad roll. That's only an 8.
Better than my 6.
Oh.
Doing these as opposed. Titania, maybe distracted by her food or something, she looks to you and she gives you a nod and says, "Pleasure to meet you. This is news to me that there is an Impressa. When did this happen?"
I have returned for a stint in the Feywilds as of 2 years ago. I grew up on the material plane.
I see. And you plan to take over after your father?
I don't plan on my father needing me to take over for him anytime soon, but I am here to help, to serve his realm. If someday I must take the reins, if he deems me fit, I would be happy to do so. However, as of right now, I am here to serve and to learn.
These qualities are uncommon in this realm, but honorable. Perhaps if we are to create some kind of alliance, we may help each other. Would that be amenable to you?
That is the nature of an alliance.
I see. You see, the closest thing we've ever had to an alliance otherwise was my sister, who, shall we say, betrayed me long ago. I'm very much not a trusting person.
I understand, but for a formal alliance, rules can be written in a contract, and for Faye, that is more binding than anything. So, if we were to form an alliance and form hands together, we could create terms mutually beneficial to both of us that cannot be broken.
This is true. This is very true. You're quite insightful. You said your name is Anna.
That's correct.
Well, Anna, it is quite a pleasure to meet you. Would you allow me to give you a, shall we call it, a meeting gift?
So this meeting gift, I'm going to she's going to nod, give like a small nod, like that's okay, but Faye and gifts are sketchy, and so I'm keeping that in mind.
Sure. She reaches into her hair and pulls out just a small pin, and says, "Well, this is from our court. You don't have items like these here, I take it. Perhaps it will be useful for you. Just a small boon." She hands it
Just
over.
a pen?
Just a pin, just like a hairpin.
Oh, a pin. I thought you
Pin.
meant a pen,
Pin.
and I'm
A
like, we
pin.
don't have any writing utensils?
Pin,
Pin.
hairpin.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Of course. It's nice. It's like a as much as it is natural, it's also kind of like made of like silverine leaves. So it has like kind of like a metallic sheen to it. But it looks like it was just plucked from a tree and then like sharpened to a point.
All right. She'll give a polite nod, but still like when again, I can't stress this enough. When speaking to them,
Mhm.
she's not giving an inch.
Yeah.
This is her house, and they've
course.
already disrespected them enough.
Yeah.
So-
Give me an insight check.
You keep picking these things that I have a -1 to.
Well,
Okay.
it's the stuff that makes sense for the session.
Okay, that's a 5.
Best you can tell, she has responded positively to you
Okay.
coming over and taking a stance.
Okay. Rock on. All right.
Rock on.
And with that, she'll go to her seat next to her father.
Cool. Yeah, you guys have a seat, and a few of the wait staff, the servants, bring in food, and they begin serving plates to everyone. Like, it's not like a banquet in the sense that like food's like all put out on tables. They like serve whole meals, basically, courses to people. It's weird for the people who are sitting at no tables. So they're just kind of like eating off their lap, and it's a little unsightly, but it's what they have. But there is enough food to go around, and so the courses begin to get served, and well into the second course. Everyone make another round of perception checks.
Thank God.
Even a natural 20. Anna, that
I'm doing my
flitting,
best.
yeah, that flitting you heard earlier and how you see it. It's darting around very fast, faster than should be perceptible, but you catch like not just a glimpse of it, but like very fast. And you recognize this from books you've read, to be a quickling, which is not
Oh.
from the Seelie court, but the Unseelie
Is that an
court.
unseelie? Yeah.
Just darting quickly to and fro. Everyone else, what you start to recognize is just these small, strange things happening at first. Just cloths, tablecloths, flitting up and down very briefly. Candlelights flickering when they shouldn't be. But Anna, you notice it. It's happening because this thing is running around tables, underneath tables.
I'm gonna point it out to my father. I'm just gonna lean over and whisper to him, "There seems to be a quickling among us," and point to it.
He can't see it. He's like, as much as he's trying to look, he doesn't see it.
It is going very fast.
Yeah, he stands and speaks just momentarily to the Queen and Lord and says, "Just a moment, I have to recuse myself, take care of something," and he walks out. Let's see if that has any impact. It does not. Nat 1. So yeah, he makes his way out, and a few moments later, you see he comes back in with like 3 larger figures. It's like another centaur, and Bryndam. He comes specifically to get you, and these 2 like minotaur folk. And he like brings you all together, and he's like, "We have an intruder in the form of a quickling. They're particularly hard to catch. They almost are imperceptible. They move so fast they can't even really slow down. Can't even really tell you the best way to get rid of them, but get rid of him. And then he walks back in. And then like the largest of the Minotaur looks at Brendan and he's like,
All right, Team Beef Boys, we're gonna find this thing. We're gonna get it out of here.
Just to be clear, my dad picked the beefiest guards he had to catch something very small that's going around a room of distinguished guests.
Mhm.
Dear God.
We're Team Beef Boy.
Team Beef Boy.
This is not gonna go.
All right, so can I make a perception check to see if I can locate this thing?
Yes, you can. Now that you know there's one about, you can do it at advantage.
Oh no! Thank God for advantage.
Yeah, 18. Well, and I guess Father Michael, you would have also seen it. 18 was the DC. So you do see it now, and it's flitting about. Now that you've got it like identified, you can pinpoint where it's gonna be, and if you can make your way to where you predict it's gonna be, you think with like one stomp you'll be able to pin it.
Oh, we're trying to kill it?
Pin it. Not
Pin it,
kill it.
okay.
Pin it. I'm not making you roll initiative.
Every time you say pin, we hear a different word.
Clearly. Pin. I didn't say stomp
Pin,
it.
pin, kill.
Pin, kill, pin, destroy.
Okay,
Splatter.
well, what would you like me to roll?
This is gonna be like a dexterity based thing, so maybe athletics. Well, first stealth to see if you can get to where it's gonna
say
be.
less. Oh,
Yeah,
well, there's
athletics.
the athletic. There's the stuff.
Okay, so you walk over to a table on like the left side of the room. You see it coming, and you pin it, but it's like a big thud, and a few of the tables around you like all look over, and they see this thing just flitting about, and you hear like as its like body is like shaking erratically, and you pick it up and grab it, and you're like, I'll take care of this.
He'll just be like, sorry, while he's trying to get away from the people that just saw him make a bunch of noise. Is there a jar or anything?
Roll for me an investigation. Not that you
Oh
see.
All right, I keep it in my hand.
Just holding this quickling, this small, foot tall, roughly. Are you just staying in the room with it in your hand?
I have no idea. I wasn't given any directive as to what to do after. I guess if we're gonna go find giggle wings or noodles or whatever.
Giggle wings. Dispose of it was the directive.
Oh, okay.
Or take care of it.
Team Beef Boy, how do we take care of this? We have it.
The big Minotaur looks back and he goes,
You are not very helpful.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, I guess we'll just eat it outside.
Is that what you want to do?
I don't know. I'm gonna find giggle noodles.
Okay.
Finch is busy again, still trying to just distract, keep everyone generally entertained, and he'll say, he'll just be delivering another. He'll be
When my parents want to know what way the wind was blowing, they just sucked me out the window.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Noodles, cut it out, Noodles.
What?
Ask him what he wants me to do with this.
he's just gonna kind of glare because he's trying to like keep everyone distracted, and then again with telepathy, he's just gonna be like
I don't know. Just get it out of here. Just remove it.
Okay, we're just gonna go outside, have a little tea party.
Okay. So you go outside. Take it into like the forest, the courtyard. Where you going with this thing?
Does it speak?
Yeah, I mean it's humanoid, but it speaks
Why-
so fast you can't understand what it's saying.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just say, you stay here, and then leave it in the forest.
You leave it?
I don't know.
What
No,
are
I
you
had no
doing?
direction. They said get rid of it, right?
Yes.
I have a rope. I'm gonna tie it to a tree.
Okay. Roll for me another athletics just for kicks. Okay. This thing is wriggling like mad, but like I rolled an 11. Just very briefly, you're able to like get it in and get it all tight and stuff, and it's like jittering so fast that it becomes like a blur, but it is tied to this tree for now.
Okay. I'm gonna just say stay there.
Okay, perfect. And you head back
Right,
inside.
he's just gonna be happy with himself and he'll walk back in.
Got the job done. The other big beefy boys are like behind you watching it, and the big Minotaur goes, "Nice job." He's like talking really slow.
We did.
He gives you like a. Did you ever see Getting Over It? Or no, what was it called? Over the Top. Or
No.
Predator. Do you know
No.
do you know the Predator the like high five they do?
Why would I know that?
I don't know, because it's a popular gif. It's like big muscly boys that do a high five.
Oh, you mean big beefy boys bumping beef?
Yeah. Here, I just sent it to you as a gif.
Oh, okay. I've seen that before.
Yeah, that's from the movie Predator. Yeah, he like gives you one of those and he's like, "Let's get it."
Yeah.
Perfect. So you go back inside, I take it?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else Beefy Boy wants to do in this Beef Boy interlude?
They just have a big beefy conversation on the way back. They become best friends. They bond.
This is really solid RP. It's a they do it a RP minute.
Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah. They're just having a Minotaur moment,
You're a centaur, not a minotaur, but okay.
They're having a tar moment.
They're having a tar moment. Okay, back on the inside. Giggle Noodles. You notice that the people you're trying to entertain, because you're kind of on that same side of the room where Brendan was, you're hearing some voices, some murmurs, because they noticed what happened, first of all. Give me a perception check to see if you kind of pick up what's being said. Nah, it's maybe because of the performance, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you do catch on that there's a lot of conversing going on. Back at the front of house, if you want to call it that, front of the room, Anna, you, because it's been pointed out to you now, or at least the attention has kind of been drawn, your father kind of told you what he has expected from the quickling kind of piece of thing, especially the fact that you saw and you kind of watched all this transpire. You also kind of had an eye on it. Is there anything you want to do, especially since you had eyes? You're kind of seeing at this point, I'm not going to make you re-roll anything, conversations happening, the faces of people distorting.
There's kind of two things I want to do, and it's okay if I can't do both, but I'd like to do at least one. I want to see people's reactions to the changeling being caught. Like, is there anybody that looks disappointed or scared? Like they were counting on that. And I want to see if there's any other sort of shadowy... I kind of want to look at the shadows and see if there's anybody else lurking around.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, so give me a perception specifically for the moment of when it was captured. Because you're kind of like glancing around the room. You're trying to like do this all pretty quickly, right?
That's another
Nat 20. Yeah. I'm gonna answer this two ways. Well, one way that answers both. You don't notice any one, but you notice shadows moving when this happens. Shadows moving in the corner, like the back far reaches of the room. Shadows moving on their own, not tied to anything.
I think Anna's gonna lean over to her father and just say, I don't think we're the only two courts here. The shadows seem to be moving.
You believe we've been infiltrated?
First there was the Quickling, and I don't think we should draw attention to it, just in case I'm wrong. But if we could light up the corners, that may be best.
I'm sure we could arrange something. What do you believe it might be?
I right to think that like the Unseelie could have infiltrated, because in theory, right?
Mhm.
Two out of the three courts forming an alliance is really bad for that third one.
Sure.
So it could either be spies, it could be a full-on invasion, or the Seelie and Unseelie could be teaming up to just get rid of us.
Sure.
So it could either be this. It's either the Unseelie being curious, the Unseelie being purposely what's the word, sabotagey, or the Unseelie straight up, there was an alliance made, it just wasn't ours.
Yeah. Any of those.
Okay. So she'll essentially tell him that.
What do you surmise would be the most realistic option? I know. And then he stops. He says, best we recuse ourselves if we're going to have this conversation. Shouldn't happen in open air.
Yeah. And she's like been whispering in his ear the whole
Of
time.
course.
She's not outwardly saying anything.
Yeah. Because this is a notable event, make for me another perception just because you're having this conversation. I'm making you roll a lot tonight, I know.
It's okay. That's a nat 1.
Oh.
I
Don't notice
apparently
anything.
only crit.
Rilaro.
Also just noticed I'm missing 2 spells, so I'm gonna add those real
That's
fast.
fine. Yeah, Rilaro, I also rolled. He makes a quick glance over at the Seelie folk, and he notices they don't appear to have been like paying close attention to your conversation. But he does note that like there's enough going on that like a conversation needs to be had at least amongst the two of you, probably with like the broader group of his advisors, especially if like something like this is happening. But to do that in the middle of a banquet is very uncouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he looks to you and says, well, as someone who grew up in a noble house, what is your suggestion?
Wait, is he asking for my suggestion for talking about this or dealing with this?
Both.
We don't want to step away right now. I don't have the message cantrip either, or anything like that. Does he? Does he have message?
No.
Okay.
Actually, let me double check. Don't let me lie to you. You can keep talking while I'm doing this.
Oh, I know what to do. Is there dancing happening?
Yeah, sure.
Father-daughter dance. Let's go.
Love it.
So we can have a conversation quietly while dancing. And that way it's sort of disguised and we're away enough from people. As for dealing with the problem, I don't know if I know enough about the Seelie and Unseelie courts in general to make the call one way or the other. If they're just spying, let them spy. Like, what are they gonna... The problem comes if they try to interfere, which is 2 of the 3 scenarios I presented. So my suggestion would be to make it very bright in here, if possible. If they are living in the shadows, let's leave as little shadow as possible for them to be here.
That I can do. And then I think I can do that with a little bit of finesse. And at that,
Exactly, yeah.
he like, because you guys are dancing, he spins you around and he says, how about a little performance? And he claps his hand and he casts the spell Sunbeam.
Perfect.
And the whole room lights like vibrant, bright light. And you see the shadows in the corner. Actually, make a perception again, because I'm not giving you anything for free. Everyone can make this, by the way.
Thank gods. Thank gods.
Father Michael, from your position, you're like looking directly down the hall past the Emperor and Anna, and you see it kind of like flit away. Brendan, where you're stationed, you're like standing right next to it almost. And so you hear it more than you see it. And Finch, you catch it just out of the glimpse, like corner of your eye. But there is like this dark shadow figure that as soon as the sunbeam lights up, flits into the hallway. And then you hear a crashing sound from in there.
Does anyone go? I guess if Finch is gonna try to again make a big distraction, so everyone else can kind of go over and so he's gonna like look over at Britta and be like telepathic.
Just go see what that was. I'll keep him busy.
And then he'll just kind of break into like a very sophisticated song again to try to distract everyone.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try and follow the noise.
And can we give him the help action with the distraction by the fact that like we're still doing the father?
Yeah, absolutely. So performance at advantage for Finch, and then give me an investigation for Brendan.
Oh no! Hell yeah, bro!
Well, Father Michael's probably going to go with as well, noticing the thing down the hall.
Perfect. Yeah. So you can give me an investigation as well. Perfect. Okay. So yeah. This dance and actually give me a performance as well, Anna, and I'm gonna give Rillero one. Natural 19. He's looking pretty good. Especially since he gets
They'll carry the slack.
Yeah. He got a natural 19 with a plus 10. 29. He's making you look amazing. I mean, he's an archfey.
Was so cool. He's an archfey. He just did a cool thing.
So series of things all happen in this moment, right? So how about a dance? He claps his hands, sunbeam goes off, the music changes in this moment to this really epic sounding flamenco style, like harp played rather than like Spanish guitar. And then the two of you, like he's like, I don't know, performing his heart out. And you see the attention of the Seelie. I'm not making you guys roll for this. You see the attention of the Seelie, like especially Queen Titania and Lord Oberon, like drawn to you guys. And they're like astounded by what's happening here. So much so that they get up and start dancing with you. And let's see how good theirs is. Queen Titania's is pretty good. Not great, but you're pretty good. And Oberon's is fumbly. It's like they're trying, but they're like trying to match what you guys are doing. And for whatever reason, it's like you guys are like perfectly in sync. Maybe just because like Rilro is like, I don't know, predicting what you're gonna do, so he like steps in like perfectly to make it look like that's what he meant, like what you meant to do. And they're like fumbling over each other, but it's this really great thing. And then at one point he says, do you mind if I pass you to Oberon and I dance with Titania?
By all means.
And you trade places. Now make another performance. I'm gonna do the same for him. 25. Rolling good for him.
I'm so scared.
She's not.
It was
doing
almost
so
a
good.
nat 20, but it's a 14 instead.
Yours is pretty good. And this time, so you're 14. It's like you're the one. He rolled a 3. So this time
He's
you're
stepping on my not toes, but
it's like he's this wild boy, right? His whole thing is like he's a man of the forest. This even though he's an archfey, he's not as charismatic, right? That's not his thing. So he's stumbling, and you're the one having to like kind of lead and stuff. But eventually he kind of like gets it a little bit, and it looks like he's having fun. Rilro and Queen Titania though, like theirs is beautiful, and like they're kind of like meshing and in sync. It's not as good as y'all's, but like it's still pretty good. And he's like, it's almost like he's teaching her to dance in these moments. And then you see, as you guys had changed, everyone else kind of gets up, and this is like what starts a whole dance processional across the rest of the room. Switching gears, Brentum, you walk into the room, and with your nat 1, you like nail an entire suit of armor, and it like also goes spilling over. Knock over a planter, and it breaks, and it spills face oil and plants onto the ground, and you got no idea where this thing went. On the other hand, Father Michael, you catch just the very smallest glimpse of the shadow figure as it turns a hallway, and you can gather that it's like headed towards the Great Hall, which is kind of like more of an entryway into the Palace Kingdom. Do you guys pursue?
Sure.
Yeah, I think we should.
Cool. So yeah, you take off. As you get into the Great Hall, it's not well lit in there. There are some candlelights. Actually, let's put the two of you. Can I do this?
I can make the lights brighter.
You can make the lights brighter.
Mm-hmm. With thaumaturgy.
Okay. Let's first of all put all of you guys on here. So I can regroup everybody. separate you guys. Okay, there we go. Finally. Now I've got 2 different pages. Okay, so you get into this great hall. It does not include these 2 people. But these big column archways, the light that's in here is still kind of like mostly from the twilight exterior. But otherwise, there's like tons of shadow in this space, so you can't really see exactly where it went off the jump. Everyone, or not everyone, the 2 of you make perception or investigation, depending on are you like scanning the whole room, or are you trying to like look deeply? Perception, fine.
I think I'm just trying to scan the whole room.
Yeah. Both of you do notice a little bit of movement coming from one of the columns over on this side of the room. You gather it's like the tail end of whatever you chased in here.
What
Is there a way to track it?
You tell me.
I don't know.
What do you have that would possibly track it?
Well, like if it was in the wilderness, it'd be like survival, but I don't know if that would work here.
This is not like a nature thing. This is something other. You can maybe give me like Arcana if you're trying to like determine if it's a magical thing. I mean, it's like you're also still like really far away, so like at this point you're not really doing anything. You're just still far away from it and saw a thing go into a shadow.
Yeah, I'd probably just go into the direction I saw it and then try and look for it again.
Like enter into the shadow.
Oh god, I don't know.
Hey, wait for me.
Time passes. Bridget falls asleep.
Oh, I really don't feel good. I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I mean, as you get close, nothing. You don't notice anything like as you're closer. Like you investigate. Like, tell me what you want to do. Right now, you're just standing near.
Well, I guess I'll just look again.
Give me an investigation versus perception. Perception is like scanning the area. Investigation is like searching, like a deep search. Cool. And are you stepping into the area, or are you just like standing around it? Like, describe to me what you're doing in this moment.
Well, Father Michael's trying to keep some distance from it. He's not trying to go right up close to it, but he's just trying to look at it, but from, a little bit of a distance back.
Brendan's just looking.
just looking. I do it. So from a distance, you can't really tell much. It all just looks like shadow at this point. It's just darkness. Not really anything here. You knew there was. I don't really hear anything. Not seeing anything.
I don't know if this is that fruitful. Maybe we should head back.
Yeah, let's go back.
We'll keep an eye on the the doorway to get through here, from the other room, but just keep in the back of our minds. But I don't know if there's anything fruitful right now here.
Turn to go back, and as you do, Father Michael, with your passive perception, 17.
Oh, it's 16. I think I think there was like an adjustment that was made like somewhere just before we started the session.
Oh, great. With a passive perception of 16. Ridiculous passive. You hear clanging coming from that area. Something
Oh,
moved.
what's that?
What's what?
I don't know. I heard some noise from over there. Maybe we should take a look.
Lead the way.
Start moving closer toward it.
You inch in. Do you enter the like shadows of the column?
Sure, let's do it.
When you do, you hear breathing.
I try to grab it.
Okay. Make for me an athletics at disadvantage because you don't know what you're grabbing at. She rolled the same thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna place you where you need to be. Yeah, you grab this shadowy figure, kind of humanoid, and it starts to struggle, and it doesn't speak, it just grunts.
Who sent you?
You trying
I don't
to
speak
intimidate
French. Do
or?
you speak- Yeah, we can intimidate him.
Sure.
That sounds like a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it worked.
I'm doing this opposed. No, it didn't work.
Who sent you?
Who sent you? It struggles in your arms. I'm gonna do this as an opposed. Roll for me another athletics. I don't think it's gonna be able to get out.
Since Father Michael's really close to Brindum, he's gonna put his hand on Brindum's back and cast a guidance.
Okay, great. Make another intimidation if you want to.
All right, and then I also have the bardic inspiration, but I don't think I need. I'll throw the d4 on there. Why not?
You don't need it. Okay.
Oh, no, I didn't throw it on there.
Yeah, you did. You rolled it. You just asked who sent you?
Yeah.
My master. What do you want?
What do you want? Who's your master?
The lady, Liscathra. What do you want? Why are you holding me? Let me go.
No, you're hiding. Why are you hiding and watching things?
Is it your business to just grab
Yeah.
those who watch?
Yeah, it's my job, dude.
I'm just watching. I've done nothing wrong.
Were you invited here?
If I was or if I wasn't, doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. We don't know why you're here. Father Michael, anything you want to ask him? He's not really answering anything.
I don't know if there's anything I can get through to him if you're not able to.
I'm gonna shake him.
Just don't kill him.
You're shaking in his voice.
All right, and Father Michael, you got any rope?
Yeah, I got a rope.
I've
Here.
been tying these things to trees all day.
What need stupid
All right,
rope
buddy,
for?
you can pick your tree. You what?
What need stupid rope for? The best Irish movie
I'm
of
gonna
all
go.
time.
I'm gonna go.
You always need a fucking rope, you know?
What need stupid
All right,
fucking
Michael,
rope
we're
for?
taking him to the tree. I'm gonna go tie him next to the quickly.
You start to take him out.
If he's not gonna cooperate, yeah.
You begin to hear breathing all around you.
Oh no.
And out of the shadows.
Why are you here?
Step many more. Leave us. We watch.
There's a lot of them, Michael.
Yeah, there's way too many of them for us.
Next time I'm tying you all to the tree.
Good luck.
Oh God!
I'd say let's unwrap that other guy, let him go, and we'll get the hell out of here.
Well, the tied up one's not in here, so we don't have to worry about.
Well, I thought you were tying up the other one. I
I tied the first one up to the tree. You can have your rope back.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
You've done something with others. What?
No, it was a dream. It was a dream.
What have you done?
Oh God, how far back you want to go? I got a list.
They start
Back in.
circling around you.
Interesting.
You've tied one to a tree. What?
No,
have you
not
done?
one of you.
One of us. All of us.
No.
One brethren.
No, a quickling.
Yes, brethren.
Why are you here?
To watch.
To watch what?
To watch what happens.
To who?
To watch all. What happens next. It's important.
You weren't invited here.
Invites matter not.
Right, we're not getting anywhere with them, so it's up to you, Michael.
What to do?
What to do? You have this really cool thing called Guiding Bolt. You also have this thing called Sacred Flame. Both cause light to happen.
The only thing I can do is make the lights brighter. Or I can pull out a torch and make that light bright.
Yeah, I think I'm going to Sacred Flame. Probably whatever one is closest to me.
You're attacking one.
I think that's all I can.
You don't necessarily have to attack one. You can just like shoot it up if you want to.
Yeah, let's do that then. I don't want to specifically attack one then if I don't have to.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah,
hang on.
so-
This is.
Sacred Flame's a cantrip, right? So like
Yeah.
it's not gonna cost you anything. Yeah, so you like shoot this burst of sacred fire up. And I'll say, Bridges, you kind of like already said you're gonna do this using thaumaturgy at the same time.
Yeah.
Blasting the light brighter. They all kind of just dissipate into nothingness.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm with you. Let's get out of here.
Out of here.
Cool. So you guys are able to head back into the main room. While that's going on, the dance is still proceeding. Dun, 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 dun. Back to classical. The dance, it goes off relatively without a hitch. I mean, it's beautiful dance that occurs pretty seamlessly. After a while, Rilaro does want to finish the dance with Anna, so he does kind of like pull you back in, Anna, and passes Titania back. This was a very good, successful series of rolls. The after the dance, the night kind of continues to progress relatively uneventfully, even though the shadows had been in the room. You can make me a round of perception checks if you'd like. Father Michael, at the moment, the one who probably sees anything. You do notice the comings and goings of shadows, but no interference over the next hour or so. They seem to like flit in and out, but nothing particularly of note. After some fun and some revelry, the sky begins to brighten with more of this Celestine astral, I don't know what you want to call it, arcane beauty, and Queen Titania comes to you, Anna, and specifically says, perhaps it's time we speak of this peace, if nothing else. Would you think it appropriate to retire someplace more private if this is something that can occur? There's something that we need to discuss regardless that shouldn't happen here.
Absolutely. Can I make I'm probably going to fail this, but can I make a quick insight check as to why she came to me and not my dad?
Yes.
No idea.
Can't really tell.
That was a very confusing move from her. All right.
Yeah, she looks to your father at that point and says, I trust it's okay your daughter joins us. To which he responds, I would have it no other way. I trust her implicitly. And you guys, yeah, you can go kind of like to I guess one of like the palace upper interior rooms for this conversation.
Yeah, we probably had a chamber prepared for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Father Michael, you are also asked to join, and Giggle Noodles, you are asked to continue to play music and revelry ensue in the below chambers, while Brindam is asked to just kind of continue watch at this juncture.
That
Bridget,
actually should be fine because I think I need to go.
I was gonna say, yeah,
really
Bridget,
don't feel good.
if you would like to depart, you may, and we could finish later.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I'm gonna go lay down. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
So you go up to this chamber, and Queen Titania immediately says, I must ask your forgiveness for how we entered in immediately. You see, we have been very distrusting of Einegarden ever since its inception. You came from nowhere and from nothing, took lands that didn't belong to you, and my sister and I, at the time, believed you wanted to... rule our world the way, well, this place is ruled, and it is not our way. As you can see, my sister is not present. She and I have had quite a falling out, but my distrust of you, Emperor, is persistent. However, your daughter has won over my affections. So forgive me. Rilro kind of like, he has a confusing look on his face, but then says, I understand. It's been a strange few hundred years since the last Ecliptica. The time spent building this empire has been one fraught with many changes and challenges, but one that I assure you was never meant to challenge your rule and way of living. This, you must know, I am born of the Feywilds myself. In fact, and he looks to Oberon, I am one of yours. Well, not exactly, but of your son. Oberon kind of is taken aback and says, What do you mean of this, my son? I don't believe my son has children. At least, not that would be in a position to challenge us in an Archfey capacity. And yet, here you stand, an Archfey, ruling over this dominion. Who are you? Rilro says, I am the offspring of Dom. And Titania gasps. Dom. Our son. Not just Oberon's son, but our son. You say you're his child. Which makes, and then she points to Anna, makes you our grandchild.
No, I think that makes me your great-grandchild. I think that makes him your grandchild.
Ah, yes, great grandchild. This is confusing. You see, because you should be Seelie. You should be of our court, and yet you challenge us. Why? And Rilro says, I was left by my father, abandoned as one of many. A romp in the wild. I had not accepted, and as such felt I had no claim, and therefore wanted to make my claim. The only way to do that was, when I saw these lands abandoned, set them on my own pace to claim them for myself, which I did. And the land responded. I've been imbued with great powers. This land obviously being where my court draws their powers from, their arcane prowess, like yours. Never assumed to be as great or powerful as your family. However, I do believe I am deserving of more than the abandonment I received. And Titania kind of rests back. Grandson. Great-granddaughter. I do not trust easy, and these words are meaningless. It can't be proven. You've merely named my son. Our son. Oberon looks perplexed. We've not seen Dom for some time. 100 years or so. He's off doing his own thing in the wildlands. He's still a Seelie, but he's chosen his own life. Not an active member of our court the way we would prefer. What would you have from us? That maybe this is the place to start. What would you have from us? Rilro responds, peace, alliance. I don't know that being Seelie ever made sense. I think it's too late for that. And then he looks to you, Anna, and says, I'm really lost as to what even to say at this point, because nobility is not something I've ever understood, which is why I wanted you here. I'm glad this all happened while you were here. What would you expect? What would you say? And clearly they trust you more than they do me.
I don't know what I ever did to deserve such trust so quickly, but for an alliance in general, I would expect cooperation. One is not allowed to attack the other. If one of us is attacked by a third party, then the other would come to defend them. And just cooperation in things, a presence in one another's court, potentially even OOC. Is trade agreements a thing in the Fae? We have to worry
Similar,
about
yeah.
money?
Not as much. Well, not like trade in gold or anything, but like certainly trade in
Goods and
yeah.
services.
Sure. Yeah.
So essentially it would not erase the borders between us, but a way to ease the borders and provide a friend out in the world. If you were attacked by the Unseelie or some other force, we would come to help, and vice versa. If we were threatened by something, you would return the favor by sending aid to us. And that way we would be stronger together than independent. A house divided amongst itself cannot stand.
I see.
But we still allow each other to grow and prosper in our own unique ways. There are things that the Seelie can provide and there are things that the Seelie are great at that we are perhaps not, and vice versa. There are strengths that our court carries that maybe the Seelie is not as strong in. Not that I am saying you are lacking in any way. It's just a mutual benefit and a mutual growth and understanding.
Yes. What do you know of our troubles? The reason this wasn't possible before? Yeah.
What do I know of the troubles and the reason this wasn't possible before?
Roll for me a history check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
18.
You know that the assumption was the last time there was a Celestine Ecliptica, um, there was a patrol put at the border of Ina Garden by the Sealy to ensure that there was no crossover of territories, and then there was an attack on Ina Garden shortly thereafter, and people assumed that it was the Sealy staking claim.
Okay. So I think she'll take a moment to respond and reply with, I know that last time this piece was to be discussed, that from our perspective, a Sealy patrol attacked our borders and threatened our people, and it was seen as an act of aggression. I do not know if that is how you all experienced things or what you guys experienced, but that was the perception, the perspective from us.
There's no such thing. No Sealy has ever crossed these borders, not without. It would never without directive. That is just not
and
the
I
case.
think that is probably why we assumed the worst. Whether that Faye can't really lie that well, right?
Can't lie at all.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, they can't lie. So they seem earnest and like that's just not what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna make you roll insight. That's just not what happened.
Yeah.
And
That is why I said from our perspective. I do not know if there was an outside force that tricked or if there was some miscommunication. This is also just I was not here then, of course. So this is my being told after the fact.
So, Anna, both you and Father Michael, you both have already seen influence of Unseelie inside the palace tonight when protections
that's
are
kind of
supposed to
why
be
I
in
was
place.
like, third party?
Yeah. That shouldn't be possible.
Father Michael would have piped up about, there were these shadow creatures we saw roaming around here earlier. They wanted to watch.
Queen
It's
Titania,
entirely possible that the Unseelie influenced events in a way that both perceived as a threat.
yeah, Queen Titania will say, this shouldn't be possible. You say shadow, there are shadow fae in the Unseelie court, but this shouldn't be possible. Your father has, and she looks to Rilaro, you made the truce accord one of the laws, no? He says, of course. There should be no allowance. No Unseelie should be able to enter in at all. Both of you roll a history check or arcana. I'll roll one for Rilaro. Nat 1, not good
Hopefully
enough.
No, god damn it, Dad.
I'll roll one for them, also a nat 1. And a 7.
What?
Nobody knows anything. Everyone's just perplexed. Why would this be happening? This shouldn't be happening.
So this event that's happening right now, you said that what is the deal with this event that's happening right now? The Aurora thing?
Is this an OOC question?
Yeah.
It thins the veil between realms, for lack of better phrasing, and what I would have given you. Things that shouldn't be able to manifest can manifest.
Yeah. That's kind of what my OOC assumption was, and I'm trying to figure out how much I can get away with. Because I was like, okay, with this thing, okay.
I'll let you roll an Arcana separately.
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense, and
My
same
Arcana's
for
not
you,
good, but okay.
Michael or TC. I'll let
That's
you
a
roll.
nat
her.
one.
Jeez, not good enough. Yeah, Michael knows. Michael knows exactly what it is. It's the thinning of the veil. It'd be the only explanation. Things that are perceived to be wishes, and maybe not even wishes, dreams. The stuff that shouldn't be allowed us is somehow allowed in this time and space because magic is so potent. Sheer will of magic is so potent that it makes things muddy. And so crossing borders is easy. Not adhering to laws is easy. If people wanted to kill right now, they could.
Well, let's not tell people that.
Michael, relay what you want to.
Yeah, I would share all of it just because, again, my loyalties lie with the Emperor and the Empressa. Like, I need to share what I know.
Yep.
There's no reason for me to hide anything from them.
Sure. Queen Titania will say in response, it must be then that your court was attacked by Unseelie under the pretense that it was our patrol. If that was the case, then we had never had any intention of this occurring. And you say, or did you? Well, let me step back before I say this next part. Did you guys respond and say that they had been here tonight?
Yeah, we said that.
Yeah, I mentioned the
Okay, cool,
shadow
cool.
creatures.
Yeah, the shadow.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Anna would have mentioned that she specifically saw a Quickling
The
as
Quickling,
well,
okay,
which
perfect.
which is a unseelie.
Absolutely unseelie, yeah. She'll say, it seems our negotiations may already be at risk. First and foremost, Anna, I must beg your forgiveness one more time. I gave you a gift. This was not entirely a pure gift. You know, in the Fae, a gift given without expectation is not a thing. Expect something in return.
Mm-hmm.
I expect in return that allegiance to us.
I do not think we have any plans of making an allegiance with anybody else. If we are to make an alliance, it would be with your court.
You see, alliance and allegiance are two different things. Rilro steps forward, kind of in front of you, and he's like, allegiance. We'll pledge no fealty to you. We are our own. And I give it back.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I apologize for the misunderstanding, but that was not the case tonight.
Let me roll for this. She frowns and says, I expect you to know better.
I expected you to.
You call yourself Fae. You still have much to learn.
I do. I told you as much. I told you that I grew up in the mortal world and that I am here to learn and to serve. I have never lied about that. I have much to learn, and I apologize. But we came here with an understanding that we were looking for a partner, not a sovereign.
Make a persuasion roll. just flat. It's gonna be contested.
That's only a 9. I'm rolling
Wait,
so
and
low.
let's do guidance too.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so D4. Okay. So it's a 12.
Also rolled a 12. You had to meet or beat, so she is persuaded. She is just subtly persuaded, though. She says, I need a commitment from you. Regardless of how long you stay here, if you leave back to your material world plane, whatever it is, you continue to learn of the Fae, because one day your father will pass, just as all Fae pass. We are not immortal. Expectation I have of you is that you would learn enough
You
to
keep
rule in
cutting
his
out.
place.
I'm so sorry.
Dang it. I have the expectation you would rule in his place one day. They are not immortal.
I absolutely will spend my entire life learning as much as I can to help serve this land as well as I can. And if a time comes that my father must retire from this realm, though I hope that is extremely far off, then I will be happy if that is what he deems appropriate to take his place. I am aware I have much to learn. I am sorry if I insulted you. You have also insulted me, but I am willing to look past it.
Oh, make no bones about it. This is not insult. This is...
No, what you just said wasn't the insulting part. The earlier stuff was the insulting part. What you just said, I appreciate.
I see. Well, perhaps alliance can indeed happen. At least for a time. And then, if need be revisited on our honor, it will be done peacefully.
Anna's gonna look at her father because this is entirely his call.
He nods and looks back at you and says, the Seelie have their own ways. And it seems we may have more Seelie than we intended. I think we both have more to learn. And then he looks back to Titania and Oberon and says, we agree. We'll write the contracts. And the two of them nod. Best we return before guests get too wary. About that time, flash the camera back over to Giggle Noodles.
What a name.
I was gonna say I still can't with that name.
It's great.
Hey, fantasy name generator. What can I say?
That's
I saw it and I was like, "Yep, that's it right there."
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
the
That's
one.
the one. Meanwhile, we've got Anna and Michael upstairs.
Anna and Michael.
The two most fantasy fae names you can imagine.
Michael, but it's spelled weird.
the Gaelic spelling.
Yeah. This is Fae-ish. Fae-adjacent. Fae-adjacent. Down in the party, as Finch is playing, shadows begin to creep in. And they fill the floor, taking up the interior space. The lights in the room do nothing to disperse them. They just exist. And Anna and Rilaro, Oberon and Titania, Michael, they all walk down, come back into the hallway, see this swelling darkness, and inside the shadow begins to, almost like smoke, become this rising void, and out of the void appears this figure, Liscathra, a sister of Titania, who says, "I see I was uninvited. Alliance is made. For how long do you think this will last?" Titania looks at her sister and says, "You broke our alliance first. You broke the bonds of sisterhood first. What have you become? You are ugly and twisted. This is not you. What are you?" Liscathra looks back and says, "And what is necessary for our way of life to continue? Whatever it is you've done here, you don't deserve it. Now doom comes to you." And a thunderous boom erupts through the room, and the crystals begin to crack and shatter, and she slowly dissipates through the room. The black clouds and mist separate, like dissipate into the room. She's gone. Everyone in the room silent, fear on their faces, terror. Many have only heard her voice before. Many have heard of her name. And no one has ever really seen her face. Her voice carries through the unseelie areas if people have traversed through it. Brendam was raised there. Brendam here shudders seeing her. Queen of Thorns. This alliance, it must stand to ensure that the Feywild continues, a way of life continues. She bids doom for this world, where Gratz bids doom to Kyrios.
Just put her name on my list.
We're gonna call it an
She's
early
gone
session.
now, right?
She is gone, yes.
Okay. Before the session ends, Anna's going to grab a like a champagne flute or whatever kind of drink is being served.
Slam it.
I thought about that. I think she's gonna host it up in a toast and say, "To the Alliance."
Titania and Oberon and your father will all do the same and say, Titania will say, "By the gods, we'll need it." And then she'll put it down, like slam it. The last thing I want to do in this session. A couple days pass. The Celestine Ecliptica resolves. I can change the music from the looming stuff again. The night sky returns. The borders go back to regular control, for lack of better phrasing. They are safe for now. Now, though, people from the Sealy can enter in, and vice versa. You can traverse into the wildlands if you wanted to from Ina Garden. You could kind of go into them before, but you were always at risk, and now that risk is gone. Your father knows it's time for you to go. It's time for Anna to return. It's time that you go handle the business that's already looming on the plane where you grew up. There's a new threat here, and it's a threat that he's gonna have to start to take care of here. An alliance is formed. Time moves weird here. You have no idea how fast or slow it's going to transpire. But you have to go home. And before you do, he offers one final ceremony to finish out your time. And it is a kind of a farewell ceremony. A ceremony for the Verdant Guard, the Wardens. It's the place where you learn the oath of the ancients. The place where you acknowledge your connection to the Feywild. It's the place... Yes, easy. It is the place where you find your, for lack of a better phrasing, divine connection to this plane. It is where you gather your healing powers. It's where you gather your radiant energy. It is here in this world, and you're going to take this with you. So he pulls together most of Ina Garden into the same halls that you were just in to have this time of celebration, to say farewell. And he has you don your armor, and now with your horns on display, he pulls out a this is very much like a knighting ceremony. He pulls out a beautiful silver blade and has you kneel and recite your oath, if you would.
I swear by the honor of my blood and the sacred bond of my lineage to stand as a champion born of the Feywild. In reverence to the ancient spirits of this realm, I pledge my sword, my soul, and my unwavering loyalty. I vow to keep the light of hope burning bright in the midst of growing darkness, to beat back despair, act with mercy, and fight for the oppressed. Where there is good, beauty, love, and laughter, I shall stand firm against wickedness that seeks to snuff it out, protecting life in all its forms from the forces that would seek to destroy it. I pledge to delight in song and laughter, in beauty and art, preserving the light within my own heart so that I may share it with others. As a beacon of light and joy and courage, I shall shine forth in all of my deeds, offering solace and guidance to those who have lost their way. So do I swear by the light of the moon and the strength of my resolve. to uphold these principles and serve as a steadfast champion of the Feywild.
He rests the blade on your left shoulder, and then on your right shoulder. It says, "Rise, Green Knight. It's time to go home." And at the end of the courtyard, as you walk out, a tree opens. You step through. And you go home.
And then I sing a little song
And you sing a
over
song.
my friend's dead body.
Aww.
And this was our Feywild adventure.
So glad I was able to help with the alliance. I was so scared. Oh my god.
I was counting pluses and minuses. You guys didn't have a ton of it. You only had 3 minuses.
Well, after Anna leaves, Father Michael's gonna turn to Rilaro.
Mhm.
Be like, "Well, my lord, we got a lot of work to do."
He looks at you and says, "I'm glad you're here. We do indeed. Gather the watch, gather the wardens, secure the borders."
Understood.
The screen pans out, fades to black.
Credits roll.
Credits roll.
Finch pops up and says,
With ears like these, I should be a corn farmer. Bye, everyone.
That's the post credit scene.
Yeah, the post-credit scene.
That's
Finch and his goofy jokes.
That's all, folks.
Go to like goofy music. That's not goofy music. I can't find
close
it.
enough.
Soon enough.
Yeah. good.
Anyway,
Good.
good session. Yeah,
That was
I
fun.
was working on what the mechanics should be for Alliance and not. I already had kind of like the history ideas of like why they would like not want to even enter into the space at all.
Mhm.
Snub your father.
Honestly, that was so rude.
It was. And I
walked
know it
in,
was.
I blinked. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Oh my god.
But at the same time, Titania being like the highest of the high
Yeah.
archfey, like she is above everybody, and to have this like usurper, it made sense. Like at least in her mind, and now she realizes grandson. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that planned for a long time too.
Nice.
Just didn't know when we were gonna get to it. Or when Anna would
Anna
find out.
has very, very noble blood.
Yeah, you probably didn't realize the nobility arc you chose was gonna lead all the way back to Titania.
No, I'm thrilled. I didn't expect it, but I'm thrilled with it.
you went in one direction. I went. What's that phrase? I don't even remember. You zigged, I zagged.
Yeah.
Uno reverse.
Yeah, I gave you the old Uno reverse.
You know, I was rejected by all the human nobility, and then I go to the Feywild, and turns out I'm like the best bloodline.
Uber
Weird.
Fey. Yeah.
Uber nobility.
I mean, I know Himothy's gonna have something similar at some point in the main session when it was hinted that his mom is actually the more important than his dad was.
Yeah. Well.
Ooh.
You like that little Warden hint drop TC, the meta that you can't use.
I love it. Nope, I know nothing about it.
Some of our other characters, we know absolutely nothing about their
Mhm.
ancestry either. I wonder what it could be. Hmm.
I think what's gonna be interesting is like TC at some point I'm gonna have to make your character. I'm gonna have to make like Himothy realize there's a similar tree on Anna's armor, like inscribed or something. I don't know. I'm gonna make that
Well,
work.
we'll see. I mean, with how poor him at these passive perceptions,
Yeah,
is,
it's like
probably
he's never
not
gonna-
notice.
He
Never
still
gonna
has
see
not
it.
noticed she has horns.
I know.
Yeah.
He's gonna see her goat legs at some point and not notice.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. This was a
love it.
good session. It was a little bit shorter, but made sense for one shot.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was,
Absolutely.
thanks for doing it. I'm obviously looking forward to next week, but it's
Yeah,
good.
me too.
I kind of like doing this. It's fun to play a different character for a while. I had a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this was awesome. I'd love to
Mhm.
do more of it sometime, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I've built out a lot more of details about this, so we absolutely can kind of pick up more on this. Even if it's just like you and I, we can do stuff like that.
hmm
But cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for the main session to continue. I'm excited for this. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We will pick up next week for session 22.
Rock
Fucking
on.
Kyrios.
Alright,
I'm
sounds good.
excited.
Later, guys. Talk soon.
All right,
Later.
bye.
Bye.